Hridila K, first year PG student, Pioneer College. The election, Siddhakant Mahapatra. Our jeep crawls to your village, seeking strange melodies from the roaring sun, the common will, from the criss-cross geometry of private agonies. Our dark longings don't touch you, nor our trappings of posters, simples, speeches, handbills, for your grief outlives empires. The called grandchildren awaken in your heart as you discern muted allegories on our ashen faces. Here the great persuaders are little things and not so hidden, cheap plastic, cheaper nylon, dark glasses to blot out the sun. With one foot in hunger and the other in the soul, you make your decision, the anguish of choice. About the author and the poem. Siddhakant Mahapatra, 1937, is a multifaceted, creative person with a civil service background writing in two languages, Oriya and English. He is also renowned as a critic and translator. Mahapatra was awarded the Jnanapith in 1993 and Padma Bhushan in 2002. He is exceptionally good in perceiving peripheral life, presenting it sensitively, and transforming it to a human concern. He says in an interview by Rajiv Mehrotra that he strives to remain sensitive and keeps his eyes open to perceive the life around. Simplicity of theme and language is Mahapatra's obvious as the poem The Election Manifest. Anacreon, in an editorial note, observes that the poet emphasizes the necessity of life to go on even in the face of cruelty and death. The election is translated from Oriya by the writer himself and it portrays an election campaign in a remote village through the eyes of the campaigners. The poem relies on the diffused binaries and paralleling technique to convey the sad plight of democracy and the manipulation of voters. The use of poetically appealing phrases like dark longings, anguish of choice, private agonies, muted allegories, great persuaders, one foot in hunger and the other in the soul, is a strategic structural aspect of the poem. These phrases work in association to expose the exploitative politics of the campaigners. The village people are a marginalized community haunted by death from starvation and basic wants. The harshness of the climate, roaring sun, drought, adds to their misery. They are tempted to sell their democratic rights for little things like plastics and dark glasses. The anguished choice is imposed on them in clever ways, and their urge for survival aspects it because survival itself is a form of resistance. For more details of the writer and his outlook, log on to https://en.wiki.org/wiki/Siddhakant_Mahapatra. Glossary Crawls, the slow and tedious movement of the jeep through the village roads, suggests a remote tribal village situated uphill, seeking strange melodies from the roaring sun, suggests heat waves from the scorching sun. The common will of the people, mandate. The crisis cross geometry of private agonies. Each person is a land of agony, the whole village too. Criss-cross may refer to the wrinkles on the face as well as the geographical setting of the village. Dark longings, secret desires, for power and mandate through luring of the campaigners. Trappings, posters, symbols, speeches, handbills used in election campaigns to entice and persuade the voters of the villages. Your grief outlives empires. Lifelong misery, empires may fall, rulers may be replaced, their misery would remain. Called grandchildren, the deprived village children, their bleak future, miserable existence, and unfulfilled wants. Discern, understand by special effort. The villagers could sense the hidden interests. Muted allegories, the facial expressions of the campaigners as difficult as an allegory to understand. They hide their agenda well. Ashen, like ashen color, pale, tired, and worried by electioneering and anxieties related. Great persuaders, little things that persuades voters to sell their mandate. Blot out, efface, block to ease the heat of the sun. One foot in hunger and the other in the soul. The conflict in their mind, fight between poverty and the higher democratic values. The anguish of choice, agony, mental pain felt when they sell their sovereignty, common will. Answer in two or three sentences. First question: what is the context of the poem? Second question: infer the consequences of the strange melodies of sun. Third question: what does crawling suggest about the place? Fourth question: what is common will? Fifth question: why didn't the trappings touch the villagers? Sixth question: could the villagers read the muted allegories? Seventh question: explain the dark humor in the phrase great persuaders. Eighth question: what is the anguish of choice faced by the people? Ninth question: explain the reference to empires. Answer in 80 to 100 words. First question: how do poverty and deprivation work against democracy? Second question: elaborate. The anguished choice is not at all a choice. Third question: the readers can sense two classes in the poem, one seeking the mandate and other who should exercise the constitutional mandate. How does the poet spell the differences? Answer in 200 to 250 words. First question: Mahapatra's poem derives its appeal from its realistic mode of presentation. Discuss. Second question: attempt a study of the, the election in relation to the constitutional values. Third question: explore how Mahapatra manages to build up an atmosphere of bleakness and hopelessness in the poem. Read, relate, and write. First question: make a list of the works of Siddhakant Mahapatra and write an introduction about him using the material available here. https://www.wikivan.com/en/siddhakant_mahapatra. Second question: the campaigners know what they are doing and still do it just like those they exploit. How are their situations different? Third question: is it possible to say that the poem turns out to be a psychological encounter? Justify your answer. Fourth question: what happens when Mahapatra presents the scene through the eyes of the campaigners. Fifth question. Electioneering scenes are familiar to everyone. Write a note on your experience of one placing yourself in the position of the voter. Sixth question. Listen to the interview in the link and report the major points mentioned. https colon double slash www.youtube.com/watch question mark v equal to Q8RZTJDCOG8. Seventh question. Attempt a comparison of the election with Kuripura Srikumar's poem in Malayalam. Bulletin.